We're returning to normal. Fingers crossed. Travel is opening up again, and we all need a vacation. Traveling has a downside: tourist traps. Here is a list of 10 tourist traps to avoid going to in 2023. Can you guess what the #1 tourist trap on this list is? Comment your guess down below. Now, let's get started. Number 10. South Beach, Miami. South Beach's difficulty is that it's the biggest tourist attraction in a wonderful city. South Beach combines the worst of Florida: gaudy, tacky, violently drunk, with the worst of mass tourism: overpriced, unimpressive restaurants and bars, and naive tourists thinking they're getting a real South Florida experience. Locals admire South Beach's trashiness because it keeps tourists away from the city's best beaches, eating, and nightlife. Residents have complained about noise, crowds, and nightly large gatherings. South Beach has one classy restaurant, Joe's Stone Crab, which has been there since 1913. The cuisine is great but expensive. Want a better beach? Try Bill Baggs State Park in Key Biscayne, which has a lighthouse, Surrey bike rentals, and shaded walks. Little Havana's Cali Octo has the world's best Cuban food at affordable prices. A personal favorite, El Exquisito, a glorified diner pumping out exemplary Cuban fare. Rainy day, Wynwood Walls, an artist installation turned hip neighborhood, has trendy boutiques and unique cafes. Number 9. Forbidden City, Beijing. The Forbidden City's credentials are excellent. The 72-hectare area is studded with imperial mansions, magnificent gardens, and traditional temples. The early 15th century Forbidden City was named because only the emperor could enter or leave its walls. For over 500 years, it housed Chinese emperors and their families. The Palace Museum has run the Forbidden City since 1925, displaying Ming and Qing Dynasty art and antiquities. It has been a World Heritage Site since 1987. However, the Forbidden City's hype and reality are gaping. There are many interesting artifacts, but after a while, chalices, tapestries, and incense burners all seem the same. It's gorgeous, but Western visitors don't understand the background behind the mountain of antique treasures, so it grows old fast. The Forbidden City will always be there, but its huton's aging. Often dilapidated residential communities and a network of tight, intimidating alleyways will not. While voyeuristic, exploring Beijing's humbler relics can be more interesting than endless display cases of gilded knickknacks. Number 8. Checkpoint Charlie, Berlin. Perhaps no symbol in modern history better exemplify the value of freedom than the Berlin Wall. The US, UK, France, and the USSR divided the city after World War II. The US, UK, and French sectors created an island of Western democracy encircled by an Iron Curtain. Because Berlin lies in Eastern Germany, East Germans fled via Berlin. 3.5 million East Germans, 20% of the population, emigrated to West Germany by 1961. The Soviets built a 27-mile barbed wire wall. Checkpoint Charlie was the main military and foreigner crossing point until 1989. While the history is fascinating, Checkpoint Charlie is now just an intersection with dueling posters of American and Russian soldiers glaring at each other across the now business-as-usual site. The wall's history museum is informative, but what remains are corny souvenir stores and pricey, uninspiring restaurants. Suggested alternatives: several bike tours of Berlin visit some of the wall's still standing remnants, a few of which even have original guard towers. Also, a significant stretch of the remaining wall contains more than 100 murals, many dating from the period immediately following the wall's official decommission. Number 7. Old Town, Montreal. World cities have attractive ancient towns. Lisbon's Alfama, Stockholm's Gamla Stan, and Lower Manhattan's small alleyways have a nostalgic romance that, while touristy, retain the genuineness that makes travel so enjoyable. Unfortunately, Montreal's historic city has wasted many tourists' time. Its charming cobblestone streets conceal its entire lack of value. Instead, its souvenir stores, cartoonists, and shabby eateries with pricey fries. One roofle at a time. The area dashes francophone dreams. Suggestions: Montreal has Canada's most varied cuisine. Check out Schwartz's Deli, a unique tourist site that serves smoked meat sandwiches and has a notable Jewish background. Montreal has a subterranean city due to its cold winters. Over 20 miles of pathways connect subway stations, office buildings, and housing complexes with top-notch retail and restaurants. Montreal features a world-class jazz festival and the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival each July. Number 6. Guinness Brewery, Dublin. Breweries, wineries, and distilleries offer immersive cultural and culinary experiences. Wine tasting in Tuscany, whiskey tasting in Scotland, and brewery visits in Belgium are appealing, intriguing, and wonderfully intoxicating. But the Guinness Brewery in Dublin is a tourist trap without the quaintness. If a vineyard or distillery's gift shop is greater than its tasting room, the specialness and real trip experience disappear. Unfortunately, such is the case with the home of Ireland's signature beer, Guinness. Dublin Street James Gate Brewery makes the thick, foamy beer, which smells like barley and hops when the wind is perfect. Touring the 18th century edifice appears typical until you enter the Guinness storehouse. The museum has a tacky Guinness pint glass atrium. The €25 per person, 7-story Guinness endorsement is disguised as a beer-making history lesson. Suggestion: smaller, newer Dublin breweries provide more interesting and cheaper tours and tastings. Five Lamps is an Irish newcomer. Want a historic drink? Visit Brazen Head, Ireland's oldest bar, founded in 1198. Number 5. Leaning Tower of Pisa. Many Florence visitors have made the mistake of booking the day excursion to Pisa, 90,000-person city 100 kilometers west of Florence. They glanced at an old tilted structure for a few minutes. Then did what? People pose for photos with the Leaning Tower of Pisa, because there is nothing else to do in Pisa except gawk at a 14th century bell tower with a 4-degree tilt. Climb it? Enjoy. To climb 300 stairs to the top of an 18-story building costs €17. Pisa is pointless, especially given its proximity to Florence. Florence is a must-see for visitors, and once there, they don't need to go 100 kilometers to see a 14th century building error. Suggestion: Florence offers better day trips. Since Florence is in wine-loving Tuscany, wine trips abound. Cinque Terre, 5 cliffside villages, is another alternative. Number 4. Times Square, New York City. If you're not going to a play or pickpocketing a tourist, please remove yourself from Times Square immediately. Times Square is so boring that Bryant Park tops a list of best things to do in Times Square, which isn't in Times Square. Cheesy souvenir stores, awful chain eateries, and Disneyland-esque cartoon figures selling $5 photo ops make the area's peep show and porn theater history look sophisticated. A guitar-playing man in a cowboy hat, boots, and underpants has been lurking in the neighborhood since the late 1990s. Times Square has a spillover problem since it has a real purpose, theater, which draws tourists and ancillary businesses. Today, mass-market musicals that are just folks dancing to Billy Joel or Green Day impede more worthy plays in Times Square. Suggestions: fewer known museums. The Museum of the City of New York depicts Manhattan's southern growth. The New York Transit Museum is in an abandoned subway station in downtown Brooklyn, while the Museum of Chinese in America is a good starting place for seeing Manhattan's last real ethnic district, Chinatown. Number 3. The London Eye, London. The mid-1990s decision to build what amounts to a permanent State Fair installment on the bank of the Thames River probably went something like this. City Official Number 1. We're a world-class city and need to honor the millennium. Ideas? City Official Number 2. How about a giant Ferris wheel? City Official Number 3. Finished, £70 million. Also, ruin the Big Ben Westminster Abbey skyline while you're at it. The cantilevered observation wheel London Eye was launched on December 31, 1999, as the Millennium Wheel. It's Europe's largest cantilevered viewing deck. The London Eye, dubbed the London Eyesore by its many detractors, attracts roughly 3 million riders every year, despite being a £25 per person carnival ride in a city with amazing sights like the Tower of London and the British Museum. It's Britain's most popular paid attraction, so either the British or the tourists are tacky. Perhaps they should start serving corn dogs and deep-fried Oreos at the ticket booth. Instead of the Ferris wheel, visit the Churchill War Rooms underneath. The bunkers house the British government's underground nerve center and the Churchill Museum. Number 2. The Blue Mosque, Istanbul. The Sultan Ahmet Kemal Blue Mosque sounds as a must-see based on its history. Since 1985, UNESCO has protected the 400-year-old, 13-dome, 8-minaret monster. It's free because it's a church. Ladies, remove your shoes and enter. It's a vast carpeted area with Middle Eastern-style painted walls, some blue. The most prominent mosques lack the complex sculptures and lavish ornateness of many Christian, particularly Catholic churches. The Blue Mosque is windows and patterns. It's lovely for 2 minutes after admiring its 20,000 handmade Iznik tiles and turquoise ceramics with Turkey's tulip motif. It's monotonous. The Topkapi Palace Harem is better for Turkish interior design fans. Suggestions: after touring the Hagia Sophia, visit the Spice Market, Istanbul's massive covered bazaar for regional cuisine. Many stalls vacuum wrap spices for the flight home. Number 1. The Eiffel Tower, Paris. There's no feeling like it is Paris' skeletal skyscraper slogan. And that's true. If that feeling is abject boredom mixed with regret at wasting several hours better spent elsewhere in the City of Lights. The Notre Dame ruins are better. A top-level Eiffel Tower ticket costs $30. Look, If you buy online, you can bypass the line unless some of the tower's 16,000 daily visitors stumble open this newfangled thing called the internet. Back of the line, mon ami, say nothing. Prefer 90 stories of stairs? Go for it. Naturally, the view from the top is stunning after the wait. Only it isn't. It's a park surrounded by endless, mostly gray buildings. But hey, just buy a flute of exceptionally overpriced champagne and take in the panoramic ennui. The Eiffel Tower, like many urban for the view attractions like the Circle Line boat tour around Manhattan, carries tourists above a city they should be delving into. Paris, please. Observing rooftops is unproductive. Suggestions. The Musée Picasso Paris has almost 5,000 paintings, sculptures, sketches, ceramics, prints, and engravings by the Spanish artist. It has superior views than the Eiffel Tower and is easier to navigate than the Louvre. Did you enjoy this video? If so, check out these other videos from Daily Top 10. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Thanks for watching.